AEW Full Gear 2022 has come and gone. We will discuss the results of that and make some predictions for Survivor Series Wargames. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host, coming from Bob. Joins always my good friend Hollywood Frank.
HW, yeah.
Nice shirt, dude.
Hey, that's what MJF said at this media scrum.
Yep. You can catch us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about all the news in wrestling. Yeah, that dude. You know what? Like I said, you and Big Daddy, you guys, you convinced me that would probably be, I could see them pushing it down the road a little bit. But
I thought they would.
I still had a feeling. I was like, man, they're going to go with this thing because it's red hot right now, and they need all the positive they can get because of everything that's happened in the last few months. So
yeah. But
MJF is the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, and he, man, if you haven't seen that video of the post match scrum, that promo that he cut, man.
It's all you have to know. That's what he said at the end.
That's what he said at the end. But I'm gonna tell you what, man, it was pretty awesome. But real quick, check and see who's here. Maldecito said, "Sup, I'm here." What's up, Maldecito?
What's up, Maldecito? Seriously,
what's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Hello.
What's up?
Sorry about that.
What's up? Yeah, Maldecito, seriously, we can begin. Hey, Leg Kick joining us.
Leg Kick's here. What's up, brother? Hail, my friends. But and everybody else that's going to slowly crawl in here. Appreciate everybody that comes in. If you haven't, hit like, subscribe, share it to your social media. Help us build this thing. We've been sitting at 141 for a while. I got to start doing some better promos and stuff like that. I got to start pushing a little bit more.
Yeah.
Kind of build this thing up, but
get her done.
Oh, man. Anyway, but before we get started, let's go ahead and let's do our favorite little segment, something we call the good, the bad, and the ugly. Talk about what was good, what was bad, what was ugly. This week, I'm going first. I forgot to start my list, but I got it here. It's okay. Good. This friggin' pay-per-view was awesome, man. Was it perfect? No. There were elements, there were things that, like, I definitely think that they could have I would have taken the Eddie Kingston's match off of the pre-launch. I would have put it on the show, and I would, I'm sorry to say this, I would have put Jade's match on the launch because it wasn't that great. It wasn't terrible, it wasn't wrong, and it wasn't anything bad. It was just,
you picking on Chitara.
It's just kind of there. But anyway, it wasn't a perfect pay-per-view. It was a fun pay-per-view. Two major things that happened. Obviously, the Elite coming back and MJF winning. We'll talk about that. Well, about how they went about doing it, whether or not we think it was the right call. All of that stuff. We're going to go all of it. Plus, we are going to go over briefly Survivor Series Wargames, because there's only 5 matches that have been announced so far. So, but we'll be going over that. And so my good, my bad, my ugly. MJF winning the title was a big highlight for the night. It was a great match. Love the storytelling in it. And by the way, we're going to be doing spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the show, sorry. Sadly, this
spoiler alert.
Yeah. Don't know. I don't know what this means for the Blackpool Combat Club. Pretty much my favorite faction in AEW right now. I was
find out tomorrow. Find out tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna find out tomorrow. Maybe they'll rename it or something. I don't know, but yeah, I was really hoping that faction would stay together a little bit longer. Obviously because William Regal turned on John Moxley, and we'll talk about that. But that was awesome. The Elite coming back. That match, that 6-man tag match between them and Death Triangle was awesome.
Wayward Son.
Yep, and that's their new theme coming out. And I'm wondering, that's their theme when they're together, when
only
they're trios.
Only when they're trio. Yep.
Right, only when they're trios. So that match was awesome. There was a lot of really good matches. Unfortunately, there were some people that were missing. I was hoping to see, like, maybe we get a little bit of news on Miro, maybe get a little bit of news on House of Black, something like that going forward. But I mean, it's, it was a 4-hour show as it was, so that's a lot of time. So I'm glad they didn't overpad it. Like I said, not all the matches were great, but the show overall I thought was really fun. More weird name changes in WWE. Mia Yim is no longer going to be called Mia Yim. She's going to, what was the freaking name that they came up with her?
Munchkin.
No, it wasn't Munchkin. It was Mila or something weird. And they're like, oh, they're doing the same thing to her that they did to Butch.
It's Munchkin, damn it.
But it's her nickname, and I'm like, oh, why? Whatever. It's that WWE thing where we want to own the name and the likeness and all that crap. So I think it's dumb.
Mission or Mitchin.
Yeah, it's Mission. It's stupid. I hate that. It's just make a deal saying, okay, well, when you leave the company, you can use your name and we can use it too. Come up with something like that.
Just call her Munchkin. It'll be fine.
Yeah. The CM Punk backlash. Holy crap, man. That was brutal. In 1 year, he went from the biggest hero to the most hated person in AEW. The fans were not pleased. Now Chicago is going to be interesting because they're in Chicago next week.
Tomorrow.
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 They're in Chicago tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
And it's a best of 7 with
Yep.
the Young Bucks and
Death Triangle.
Death Triangle, match number 2 in Chicago tomorrow.
Yep.
So
it'll be interesting. Now a lot of people are saying that they're worried that they don't know if they're going to be able to carry the excitement for that series through 7 matches. I think these guys are so good that I mean, come on. They don't. These guys, they don't put on bad show. They don't put on bad matches. Not when they're together. But if something does happen and it doesn't seem like it's losing steam, it doesn't have to go 7 matches. It just has to be best of 4. So, but yeah, man, the Punk backlash was hardcore, man. It was like, holy crap. Like the crowd was literally chanting FCM Punk, and it was brutal. And we'll touch on that a little bit. We'll make our final determinations on what we think about that whole situation. But I don't like it overall. But anyway, that's my good, my bad, my ugly. Frank, what do you got?
I could piggyback off of you with Full Gear, Moxley, MJF, all that stuff were good, but I'm going to go a different one. My good is what they're doing. I ripped on them a couple weeks ago, what they did with him with this Money in the Bank briefcase, but I'm liking what they're doing with Austin Theory.
Oh, I am too, man.
No more of this.
No more goofy crap. No more. He's just like,
he's serious.
I'm pissed and I want what I want.
And which is what they need to do. If they want to get this guy to be the next Roman Reigns or John Cena or whatever, the goofiness needs to stop. I mean,
if they just want to get him over, period, this is what they need to do.
The Thugonomics worked only for so long with John Cena.
Yep.
And
they went away from it really quick.
You got to get away from that if you want people to take Austin Theory seriously.
Yep. 100%.
And I'm glad they got away from that. I really am. And like I said, I was skeptical because I thought, what the hell are they doing? Having him Money in the Bank, briefcase going up against Seth Rollins, and then it's just like pissed it away. I felt.
Yeah, that whole situation with the Money in the Bank He was the wrong guy to put it on to begin with. Once they had it on him, they didn't know what the hell to do with him. They didn't know who to put him up against. They didn't know how to push him. What Vince was doing wasn't working. So what that whole situation 2 weeks ago was Triple H basically saying, screw it, pull the ripcord, kill this thing now. This is the last vestige of Vince McMahon's Austin Theory.
Yep.
And this is who he's going to be. We're rehabbing him now going forward. This is and that was exactly what they needed to do with him. Oh shit, Johnny.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, bro. Take care of yourself, man.
And my bad. I'll get back to my bad, but sad and hopefully doing okay. Courtney mentioned that her dad's got chemo going up again.
Mm-hmm.
So, Courtney, we're pulling for your dad, man. Hopefully he does okay. Keep us updated how he's doing. Appreciate it. Courtney been with us a long time, so thoughts and prayers to her dad. Hopefully everything goes okay with him, especially right now. The holiday times, having to go through that any time is rough, but especially during the holidays. So we're thinking about you, Courtney.
Yep.
My bad. I did not like that. I did not like the Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Darby Allin Sting match. It's like,
that kind of fell flat.
Sting needs to be done. I mean, I'm sorry. The guy's 63 years old. That Scorpion Death Drop he tried doing on Jay Lethal, terrible.
Yep.
It was a no DQ, no disqualification, or no DQ, no count out match, which I didn't know that. So I was going, but you had the Giant coming in there a couple of times interfering. If it's a no DQ, no disqualification, or no DQ, no count out, why are they tagging?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why didn't you tag somebody?
There was a lot of stuff that didn't make sense.
What is the referee gonna do if you come in the ring? It's no DQ. Yeah, dude, he can't kick your back out.
There was a lot of stuff that didn't make sense, dude. A lot of stuff. And I checked, and the Saraya versus Britt Baker match was not no DQ, and they had no special thing at all. So all that interference that the referee saw, like literally freaking saw it right in front of him. He just went, it's okay. It's like, what the? I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? This doesn't make any damn sense. Oh my God. The ref. Yeah. I know I should have thought about that. The reffing was pretty awful.
It was.
It didn't make any damn sense. So that was your bad. That was your battery.
That was my bad.
All right.
Just the Sting, Darby Allin, Jay Lethal, that match. It's just
Well, the other thing
to me, it just fell flat. I mean, the crowd was not into it at all.
No, and I think, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't want to see these guys. I mean, Jeff Jarrett looked awesome. Jeff Jarrett's like 8 years younger than Sting, though. And even I'm like, yeah, dude, I really don't need to see you in the ring. Now I want sense in my fake sport. Oh no, I want sense in my fake sport. Yeah. It's not that, dude. It's like when you have rule, like if they interfere and the ref doesn't see it, I'm fine. Okay. But he literally turns his head and he looks right at her like this. Like he's looking, like she's there, he's looking right at her. And he doesn't like look at her real quick and then go, oh no, I won't get. He looks at her and he watches her doing what she's doing, and he's just like, it's okay. You know, that right there, that just takes you out of it. And you're just like, okay, listen, now you're getting kind of stupid.
Yeah. And my ugly is it's my time for a bathroom break is every time I see JBL and Baron Corbin come on the screen.
Oh my God, dude. I literally got up and walked out of the room.
I just
And his
click, hit the mute button, and I just go.
I love Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre is woefully underutilized. I think he's one of the guys that they should be building the company around. You know, and to be fair, he hasn't been buried or anything. They're just not pushing him in the world title scene like they were before. That should be one of the guys that they should be building the company around. I really do think that. Even with him in that match, as soon as Baron walks on screen, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go get a sandwich or take a leak or something. I don't want to watch this. He's distracted by her beauty or by her booty.
I'm distracted by Tony Storm's booty. Okay.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. Tony Storm, Jimmy Hayter turned like the match started out slow, but it turned into a really good match. But yeah, Baron Corbin is, dude. Look, all respect to the guy. I understand that from in behind the scenes, everybody likes him. He's a likable guy. He's a solid mid carder as far as his performance in the ring is concerned. For his character, I can't stand that guy. I just can't stand it. You know, and I blame them for like not giving him somebody better than JBL. It's like, yeah, the guy that had go away heat before he left the company comes back and he's just giving more go away heat to the guy that has all the go away heat in the world. It's like, ugh.
Hey, Hicks Villain, thanks for joining us, man.
But I agree with you.
Yeah, that's my GBU.
All right. What about you guys? What was your GBU? Maldacito, Hicks Villain, leg kick. Tell us what your GBU was for the week. All right, let's talk about this. I did actually watch the countdown. I did watch it. We just didn't stream it.
Right.
Honestly, outside of Eddie versus Eddie Kingston versus Jun Akiyama, the rest of the countdown was just kind of meh. You know, I like that Brian Cage they're letting the guy have work again. Ricky Starks, they're pushing him forward in the title eliminator tournament. That's a guy I think they need to build. They need to do more work with.
Well, it's him or Ethan Page at Winter is Coming.
It's got to be him
versus MJF.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I like Ethan Page, it's got to be Ricky Starks. It has to be Ricky Starks going forward. The dude's he's young. He's one of the he's a guy that you could build around. They
could have a banger match at Winter.
Oh yeah, and it probably will be a good match between the two of them. They're two really good wrestlers. I could not give less than a shit about the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy versus the Factory.
Is that the new Danhausen there too?
Well, that's and I was okay. Like the Danhausen stuff, I was okay. A little less jokey Danhausen, a little more serious. I'm cool with that. But dude, and all due respect to QT Marshall and everything, I know that he's one of the guys that's helping build people. I give less than a shit about the Factory. I really don't. It's like without Cody being involved in that situation with him, man, he's blander than bland. So, but yeah, Eddie versus Jun Nakayama was awesome. It was awesome. It was it was vintage Eddie. It's and then the promo he cut. He's like at the end, he's like real quick. Oh yeah, everybody go aboard to the pay-per-view. That was pretty awesome. But that was what I felt about the pre-launch. It was mostly missable. The match between Eddie and Jun Akiyama was pretty cool. Steel cage match started off the show. Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus. This was really good. Was it the best match on the show? No, but it did a lot to further Jack Perry's character.
Yeah. And a special shout out to Justin Hollis for joining us for a short time on our live
Justin. React. Yeah, we should have put that as our good. Our boy Justin Hollis. He joined us for a while, long as he could. Unfortunately, he had some tech problems, and it looked like his kids were basically driving him crazy. But yeah, and that was fun, man. I'm like I'm all about doing that again. And Justin, if you see this, you're welcome anytime. Well, one thing we need to do also is like, well, we used to do where we towards the end of the show we would open it up to everybody that was watching to come in and say what they wanted to say. But yeah, it was fun. Madeline C said, "Good Penta on Monday Night Football. The bad, no wardrobe malfunction during the women's match.
Mm-hmm.
The ugly Bob having to work at the pay per view. Yeah, dude, I was dead. It was so. That was the longest. It's the 12-hour shift is already long, man. But that was the longest. Oh my god. By the time I came home, I just died. But yeah, I thought this did a great job of furthering this match was more about character work than the match itself. And the match itself was actually solid.
Yeah. Got blood early in that match too.
Yeah, he did. That's why I was wondering if maybe it was if he did it the hard way.
He did.
Because
he was laying after he threw him into the cage. He was laying down in the ring. The camera cut off of Jungle Boy. Next time you see him, he's laying face down.
Yeah,
on the ring apron.
Yeah,
and then he picks him up and he has blood on his face.
Yeah, he got popped. So,
he did the Dusty Rhodes thing.
Yeah, one thing I will say, I would rather they had not unlocked the door. I would rather that the whole match had the match that the match stayed in the cage. I think it would have been better. I don't like it when they open it up and it goes outside. You know what I mean? A cage match is a cage match. Let it be a goddamn cage match. At least the pay-per-view show ended before midnight for a change. Yeah, and I'm 100% behind that, dude. I'm 4 hours is long enough. It's more than long enough.
5 hours if you had this.
Oh god,
pre-show.
Yeah, but so yeah, and then yeah, so Jack Perry. I think Luchasaurus. This did a lot for Luchasaurus too. I think this might have been the best match that he's had.
And it's nice that they're calling him Jack Perry and adding that to it.
Yep. And I think that's the plan going forward. That little by little, the Jungle Boy is going to go away, and then eventually it'll be because Jim Ross already calls him that. He calls him Jungle Jack Perry. He takes the boy out of it. He misses, which is obviously him making a mistake, but it's a mistake that I think is fortuitous because that's what I think he needs to be called going forward. But yeah, it was a good match. It was pretty cool, and it was, and again, and like a lot of people are saying, it was a star-making performance for Jack Perry. This is a guy, at this point in his career, I could see them pushing him in the TNT title scene. Putting him into the mid card scene. I 100% could see them doing that. Yep. And like I said, he's one of those four or five guys that they need to build this company around. But next match, and I was surprised that this match was this early on in the show, but AEW Trios Championship match, the Elite versus the Death Triangle. Dude, this was freaking awesome. Good God. There's some people saying, oh, it wasn't as good. And I understand the whole idea that like some people just don't like 6-man tag team matches. They want tag team matches to be 2-on-2. I get it. 100%. And then there was also the added drama of everything that happened on top of that. And I think that killed it for some fans too. I think from start to finish though, man, this was awesome. When they came out to Carry On My Wayward Son, I thought that was awesome. Kenny looks like he's been using this extra couple of months to really get himself into shape. And also, dude, the announcement that it's going to be Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, that's good. That's great.
Yeah, you know about that?
I knew he mentioned something about being in Japan, but I didn't know what the match was.
Yep. Him versus Ospreay. It's going to be freaking great. And if he's in top shape, man, like he is, like
he looked good. He looked good on Saturday.
Really good. He looked really good.
They had the chants from the crowd on CM Punk.
Oh yeah. The CM Punk thing. Some people are pissed off about that. Some people are pissed that because if you watch the latest episode of Being the Elite, they brought it back this Monday. They actually clipped that piece that where they were saying that, and they put it in the video. Here's what I'll say about that. Look, these guys obviously don't like each other. After what happened, they obviously don't like each other. And if somebody ran you down, and I think about this with you, this is you. If somebody ran you down on national television, on international television, and just talked mad shit about you, and it turned out that the whole thing was largely instigated by him, would you have a problem putting that shit out there like that? I wouldn't. Now, I don't think it's now. I think it might be a little unprofessional.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it'd be like all the shit that he said about them is like, what are they supposed to go? Oh darn! No, they're gonna. It's a receipt, man. Yeah. Now, I think it's unfortunate, and I think it sucks, and I really wish that it hadn't happened because I would love to have seen Punk versus Kenny Omega.
Love to have seen Punk versus MJF.
Yeah, Punk MJF round 2 after with him chasing MJF. Punk versus Danielson. There's so many awesome Punk versus Okada, which they were talking about what might have happened at the next Forbidden Door. There's so much that could have happened, but ultimately, at the end of the day, the people who are, and I'm like I said, we're going to talk about this for a second, and then we're going to be done with it. I don't want to talk about it anymore because I'm sick of talking about it. There are two people that are mostly responsible for what happened. There was a lot of unprofessionalism all around. I'm not going to say that there wasn't. Yeah, I saw that in the opening montage of BTE. They showed the Bucks with Colt Cabana. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's two people that are most largely responsible for everything that happened: Tony Khan and CM Punk himself. Okay, Tony Khan is the most responsible because he's the freaking boss. Yep. The minute this stuff started, any of this stuff started to foment, he should have stepped in and be like, "All right, listen, you don't got to be friends, but you got to be professional. You guys stay away from him; he'll stay away from you." End of that. He should have ended that crap. He didn't. So I put the majority of the onus on Tony Khan. But at the same time, CM Punk was given the keys to the freaking kingdom. He literally was he's like, all these people that were here before you, all these people that helped build this company, all these people, you know what? We're putting you over top of all of them. We're going to give you the keys to the kingdom. You can work with whoever you want. You can work however you want. You have complete creative freedom. You're the top paid guy in the company. Literally they said you are it, and he still found a way to get his panties in a bunch.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you would hope that younger guys would listen to you older guys when they talk about having advice for them and things like that. But if the thing that gets you all pissy is some young guy, you wanted to give some young guy some advice, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good, man. Thanks," and then basically blows you off. If that's all it takes to be the catalyst to create this thing, then that's on you for being soft.
Yep.
Quit being a bitch. Just chalk it up. Be like, okay, well, fuck that guy. He doesn't want my advice. Screw him. And then just go on and do your thing. And then everyone's saying, well, and then he went out there and he shot on Punk. Punk shoots on people all the time. That's literally how he built himself, was shooting on other people. If you can't take it, don't dish it. So at the end of the day, it's unfortunate because I really like CM Punk. I think he's a great talent. I think but like I said, from the day he walked in that door, man, I said, this guy's a diva. And at some point there's going to be some drama. Did I think it was going to be this quick and this bad? No.
Nope.
But at the end of the day,
yeah, time to move along.
Yep. We're done with it. We're not going to talk about it anymore. We're finished.
You're right, Higgsville. It was hammer time.
Yeah, that's so okay. So that's another thing that people are saying negatively about this show is that Ray Phoenix listened to Pac and he cheated. He broke the rules. You know what I mean? So and so like some people they don't like it. They like and I can understand it too because Ray Phoenix has been like an eternal baby face.
Hey, pulled an Eddie Guerrero. Okay.
Yeah, but and I mean, here's the thing though. I don't think that story's over because I think he was really conflicted about it. Because if you look, he was really conflicted about it afterwards. And even though he said, "Yeah, okay, I agree, I understand," he still wasn't okay. He was mad at himself about it. So I think that's a storyline thing they're gonna continue going forward. So.
Well, that could, as you were talking about that could be the catalyst or the X factor, whatever, as to what causes them to lose the titles to the Elite.
Yep. That very well could be what ends up costing them. Where he's like, I just don't want to do it again, or he tries to do it and he hits somebody else by accident or something like that.
Hits Pac and Pac gets pinned by Kenny Omega or somebody.
Yep.
And that's it. And that triangle goes deep.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. He got the jumping line and still became miserable, Phil. That's why you never made the guy in the. Yep. That's like I said. That's it. We're going to talk about it more. But I thought this match was awesome. Pac got another person. He got busted open the hard way.
Line jumping is grounds for immediate dismissal from the park.
TBS Championship match: Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose.
Chitara.
You know, yeah, she tweeted and she said she's never going to wear leotards again.
They look bad. They look bad.
It was pretty well. I mean, it looked good until she started moving around, and then I was like, okay, that thing's riding up on you. And then, like I said, I agree with almost everybody. Basically, said that this match was very subpar. It didn't look like they are on the same page.
What's wrong? What's the matter with Jean Grey? Montecito, come on. There's room for 2 Dark Phoenixes.
No, whatever. Like I said, I feel like if you're gonna use Nyla Rose, you should use her like Andre the Giant. She should be like Jaws. She should be this terrifying thing that's out there, just kind of swimming around, and then comes in out of nowhere, wrecks everybody, kills everybody, and then takes on and then you have them up against your top babyface or whatever person, and they find a way to overcome, or they get destroyed, whichever way, and then they go back into the ether.
She can come out like the earthquake.
But yeah, it wasn't a very good match. It got a little bit better towards the end, but it wasn't great.
I was a little surprised that Vicky didn't do anything.
Well, that was probably the coolest thing about the entire match was they came in on the lowrider as like
that was awesome,
like a nod to Eddie. That was freaking awesome. Yeah, that I was 100% behind that. I thought that was awesome.
I thought Vicky would interfere somewhere in that match.
No, and surprisingly, of all the matches that had interference in it, you would think that this would be the one. But yeah, and then like again with I don't know what they're doing with Marina Shafir. I don't get it.
I don't know. But you said that they're, and maybe they are. Maybe they're holding off on
pulling the trigger until Statlander comes back.
Yeah, Jade not lose until Statlander comes back.
I'm telling you, the only other person that I could see taking her out would be maybe Toni Storm goes after the TNT title now. I could see Toni Storm beating Jade, but it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense right now for that. They're running into the same problem that they ran into with Roman Reigns. They've had her beat everybody. They've had her destroy everybody. What are you going to do now? So Marina is gangsta now. I don't know what they're doing with that poor woman. Fatal 4-way Ring of Honor World Championship match. This was a really good match.
The wrong person won, but
I agree. I think the wrong person won. I liked the drama of it. I liked we got a little bit we knew this was going to happen where Danielson and Castagnoli cleared the ring.
Yep.
And they were there and they're like, okay, yeah, we're on the same side and everything, but this is a world title championship match, man. So let's start killing each other.
Yep.
And so they did. And but they the cool thing was, since they're technically the babyface, even though Bryan Danielson says he's not a babyface, they're technically the babyfaces. They did their confrontation right up front. They're like, hey, this is the way it is, man. The underhandedness from Jericho and Sammy Guevara was awesome. It was awesome in storytelling because at first they were on the same page. They were helping each other out,
hugging each other.
And then when Sammy goes for a pin, Chris Jericho pulls him off. And that's when the storyline stuff between them started, and it was pretty awesome.
And the GTS that Sammy put on Jericho.
Yep. I really thought it. I like the idea that when they brought in what's his name, Riccaboni, Riccaboni, the Ring of Honor announcer.
Yeah.
And it was cool because he has a lot of knowledge and history about the Ring of Honor champion. He brought up how Joe had a 600 plus day reign as the title holder and all that stuff. That was cool. I liked that. Like I said, I understand why the belt is on Jericho. I get it. They're trying to use it as clout to get a television show for Ring of Honor. I get it. I don't like him as the champ. I just don't. I thought, like, as much as I wanted it to be either Danielson or even Guevara, just for storyline purposes. Storyline purposes, like the follow up between the two of them would be an interesting storyline. I still don't like. The only person I really wanted that belt to go on was Danielson.
Yeah, so did I.
And being that he has so much history, and he's a big name guy too.
Yeah, and he's been Ring of Honor champion before.
Yeah.
Put it back on him.
Yeah, put it back on him and put some respect on this damn belt. If it's going to be on our TV screen, which I disagree with what Tony said when he's like, I could make a YouTube show or a social media show for Ring of Honor, but I don't think it's beneath them. I'm like, no, dude, you need to have something that you can show people. You need to have something that you can show these investors. Say, this is what you're going. This is the kind of product you're going to be backing.
What they need to do is, I don't know when it's happening because I don't know the pay-per-view schedule, but they have a Ring of Honor pay-per-view coming up soon.
Yep.
And they need to get things finalized. Yeah. And like Hicksville is saying, when they have that Ring of Honor pay-per-view, that's when they need to announce this TV show.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll have something finalized by then. Yeah, and here's the thing, dude. I don't have like them putting the belt on Jericho. I totally understand it. He's one of, if not the biggest star that they have. He's a name that people know. He has reach outside of wrestling. I get why they put it on him. I just don't like him as Ring of Honor champion. And it's a storyline thing that I think they're just pushing too far. It's just this is the kind of storyline that gets old really quick.
Yep.
And I think if you could put that belt on Bryan Danielson, and he's arguably as big a star in wrestling, at least, as Chris Jericho. But Chris Jericho, like I said, Chris Jericho has reach outside of wrestling. And I think that's why the belt's on him right now. And it's cool that they gave it to him so that he could, like the whole, the Ocho thing and stuff like that. That's cool. I just think that it's being pushed a little too. It's getting too long in the tooth.
Yes.
But I like the storyline stuff between him and Sammy. I thought that was really good. Saraya versus Britt Baker, DMD. This was a decent match.
Yeah, I mean, you got Saraya, who hasn't wrestled in 5 years.
Yeah, she hasn't wrestled in 5 years. There's obviously a lot of ring rust. This is the first time they've worked together. So you add all that together, and you're not going to get a 4-star, 5-star match out of these guys. She looked good. She looked athletic. She looked strong. Obviously, there was a couple botches. There were a couple of missed moves that were kind of clunky. But overall, it was a serviceable match. Obviously, she's going to get better as time goes on, and hopefully she can get back to at least some semblance of what she was, because she was actually one of the best women's wrestlers in the world for a while. Like, there was a reason why Paige was such a big deal.
Where's the storyline go?
Hopefully this is the end of it, because this thing doesn't have a lot of steam on it. I'd like to see her. There aren't any real women's factions. You ever notice that? It's Jade with her little clique.
Yep.
Britt, and that's it. There isn't, and like, I don't see any any stables. I don't see any like. I would like to see them put something together. They got to do some more. They just got to put something more together for the women's division.
Well, yeah. Well, you don't see Penelope Ford or the Bunny wrestling much. You haven't seen Athena much. I mean,
well, Athena, they're doing some stuff with Athena that I like. She turned heel. I dig
Right.
that. She attacked Aubrey Edwards, which I thought that was freaking great. I want to see, like I would like to see some stuff really build. Saraya is a year away from at the media scrum. She does have a tendency to talk some shit on social media, man. I'm optimistic for her. I think she'll get her stride back. Now the question is what are they going to do with it?
right.
Because like I said, the AEW's women's division, as far as talent goes, they've got plenty of talent. They just need to have some freaking direction. Yeah. And if Tony's not going to, take the reins on it, he needs to have somebody else come in and take the reins on it. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see her back. It was obviously very emotional for her because a lot of people were worried if it was just going to be crap, and it ended up being okay. Wasn't great, but it was okay. TNT Championship match: Wardlow versus Samoa Joe versus Powerhouse Hobbs. This did not go the way I expected. I thought either Wardlow was going to retain or Hobbs was going to win.
Yeah, I did not expect Joe to win and be a dual champion because he is TNT champion and Ring of Honor TV champion.
Yeah. There were some bad. Look. This was a typical big man match.
A lot of beef in that ring.
Yep. All Athena had to do to get a push is beat up a jobber, local talent on Dark Beware. Yep. Should have been on the pre-show. You think Saraya? You think Saraya and Britt Baker should have been on the pre-show? I could see that. I could see that. And like I said, I would have taken either this match off. I know you can't take the TBS title off the card.
No,
off the maker. You can't do it. As far as how good as far as the match was concerned, I would have rather have seen Eddie and Eddie versus my brain doesn't want to work.
Whatever, you're a Japanese guy.
Yeah, Akiyama. I couldn't remember. God, my brain just went. Bleh! I would rather have seen that on the pay-per-view than Saraya Britt. I think you could put that on the pre-launch and it works perfectly fine. The TNT Championship match, it was a typical big man match. There were some good spots. Man, that off the turnbuckle splash that Wardlow did.
Oh yeah.
Dude, the freaking elevation that guy got on that was ridiculous. Hobbs, man, but the standout for this match, in my personal opinion, was Hobbs. Joe is Joe. I mean, Joe's great no matter what. But Hobbs, man, they've got something with this guy. They really do. And I guarantee you that, like right now, Triple H is salivating looking at that dude. They thinking about what's going to happen if he can put enough money in front of him to get him to jump to WWE when his contract's up. Dude, can you imagine him versus Braun Breaker? Holy shit! that's like,
ooh, that'd be good.
And I tell you what, if as long as they don't ruin him, that's something you could build. That could be the. Now I'm not going to say that's on the same level, but it could be like Rock versus Cena.
I want to see Hobbs versus Miro.
Hobbs versus I want to see Miro, period. Dude. Like, I know he was filming a TV show and I know that he had it, but he's long since been ready to go. Tony got called on that, and he had an okay statement about why that was happening.
Yeah, and I know Wardlow broke up from what Wardlow said in the ring when they were in the ring together. Yeah. Fine. But I don't know what their game plan is, storyline is with Joe having both belts. I just think it would have been better to have Hobbs pin Joe and get a title off of Wardlow, and then Wardlow goes after Hobbs to get it back because I never lost it. I was never pinned. Type deal, but
Miro versus Keith Lee. Oh, good. Dude. We could sit here and we could probably make a dozen big man feuds that they could go forward with for the next year. They've got so much big. They've got a decent amount of big man talent now. They could start doing some of these kind of things. And seriously, I would say if he's not the most improved, he's one of the most improved.
And I would have used this pay-per-view to get over your AEW talent more.
Yes.
Your homegrown talent, like the Hobbs.
Yeah. Hobbs. Well, I think, like I said, I think he was the standout in this match. And who knows what's going forward. He may be the guy that challenged. He may challenge Joe for the title, take it off of Joe, and then Wardlow's like, well, I want my championship back because I didn't get pinned.
Right.
Something like that. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird situation that they got going on with this thing. I'm not mad that Joe won because I like Joe. Joe's awesome. I want to see more Joe, but Joe's already got a belt. He's got the ROH title. He doesn't need another belt right now. Unless you're planning on having him drop that at the pay-per-view or something or whatever. Who knows what's going on? And it's one of those things where I'm getting tired of seeing Ring of Honor belts being defended on AEW, but I also want to know what the hell they're going to do with Ring of Honor going forward. It's what's going on? So it's like a catch-22.
It's fun to see Hobbs and Wardlow in the ring looking at each other like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, they were just both just like, did that really just happen? Like, what the freaking hell was this? Which is the way a finish in a three-way should be. So I don't have a problem with the finish. I just think it's weird. Joe Wardlow is probably going to co-main event Ring of Honor pay-per-view. It's possible. I would rather it would be purely Ring of Honor talent and that's it. Or Ring of Honor representation. In other words, I don't want them representing the AEW the TNT title on a Ring of Honor,
FTR Briscoes.
FDR Briscoes 3. Dude, I swear to God, Tony Khan needs to sack up and go to these producers, especially now that
Zaslav.
Now that Zaslav's in charge, he's like, can you please tell this a-hole to piss off so I can bring this crazy popular over the can you get this guy off my ass so I can make you money? That's all he needs to say to him, and Zaslav will be like, done. So screw that guy. It pisses me off that. Don't get me started on that. Yeah, no DQ, no count out match. Sting, Darby Allin versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. We already talked about this a little bit. I like Darby Allin. I like Jay Lethal. I loved Sting when I was a kid. Jeff Jarrett, I thought, was a great character. This match was just meh to me. And the probably the highlight of this match was when Satnam Singh caught Darby Allin and then threw him like a lawn dart. That was like okay, here's the thing. Satnam Singh may not be a very good wrestler. He's probably terrible in the ring, but he's legit. He's a legit big dude, man. Like he caught and again, Darby's, if you're gonna catch somebody like that, Darby's the one to do it with because he only weighs like $105.
Come on, Satnam Singh is Omos and the Great Khali's.
That's the thing, I get, and I think that's why they haven't pulled the trigger on him because they know that he's terrible. So I, use him as a bodyguard. I'm all about that. I really don't want to see him in the ring.
If he's better than a Giant Gonzalez, that's a definite improvement because that guy was terrible.
If he's at least as good as Shaq.
Yeah.
Okay. Shaq was serviceable.
The Giant Gonzalez with his hairy bodysuit.
Oh my God, dude. That's one of those Vincifications that were just like, that was the death touch, man. Right. It was an okay match. I personally, Sting's day is done. You want to have him be an on-screen character, that's fine. I don't need to see him in the ring anymore. I love the guy to death, but he's taking the spot that and that's the other thing. He and Jeff Jarrett are taking a spot that somebody else could be in.
Yep.
Okay. Somebody else, like Ricky Starks, or Miro or something like that. Those guys could be involved in this. And then there's these two guys that are 55 plus years old that are taking up spots that could be for somebody who deserves it more.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people are going to be upset with me saying that, but like I said, I love Sting too. He was one of my favorites when I was younger. He's going on 64 years old. Okay, he's approaching Ric Flair territory. I don't want to ever see Ric Flair in a wrestling ring again, ever. I saw Ricky Steamboat training for a match. I don't want to see that either. I don't want to see my heroes break in the ring. So that's the other thing too. Darby's never going to advance with that with Sting behind him like that. With Sting at his side like that. Now, if Sting's behind him, pushing him, Sting's there as a presence, but he's not in the ring, that's fine. But the way they're at right now, Darby's spinning his wheels.
Yep.
And he's not going to advance any further. Like I would say that the two people that have the two people of the supposed pillars that have done the best are Sammy Guevara and MJF. And MJF is the only one that did it on his own. So, because Sammy's been, and I would say that as long as Sammy is associated with Jericho, he's kind of spinning his wheels too. So
yeah, Jungle Boy
Jungle Boy's on his way.
Might be passing Sammy here if Sammy continues with the JAS.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right on that. I think he's going to pass Sammy here pretty soon. But AEW Women's Interim World Title Championship, which hopefully the interim is going to be going away soon.
Yeah, they need to stop that. If somebody's out injured, just take the title off them.
Yeah.
You had to take the title off of Punk. He got hurt.
Yeah.
You took the Trios title for a different reason off of the Elite. Just no interim.
Yeah,
because there's no guarantee that person's going to be back. Because you don't know what could happen with the surgery.
Well, that's what happened
or rehab. You have no idea.
That's what happened with Thunder Rosa. She was supposed to be back by now, but her back injury ended up being worse than they thought it was. So, and even Tony himself said that they may have to pull that thing and just okay, listen, this is it. That being said, this was a really, really good match. It started really slow. In my personal opinion, it kind of dragged a little bit, but man, about the midway point, they started kicking it up. As soon as Tony's nose got bloodied, that's when they turned it up a notch, and this ended up being a really, really good, really fun match. I still think that hip check that Tony Storm does is gonna kill somebody one of these days. But and dude, the crowd was so behind Jamie Hayter. They were so behind her, it's ridiculous.
I don't know what's going to kill somebody first, that hip check by Tony Storm or Darby Allin with his suicide dive out the ring.
Yeah, well, that's going to kill him. That's Tony's going to kill somebody else. The one thing about this, the one disappointing thing about this, I did not like was I liked that Hayter won. I don't like that they're dragging this thing with her and Britt even further down the road.
She did not need outside interference to win.
She didn't need, not to the level that we got it.
Right.
Britt interfered so much, and you know what it's gonna do. They're gonna do. They're gonna say that
you wouldn't have won it if it wasn't.
You wouldn't have won it if it wasn't for me. Yeah, and it's but both times that she interfered, it was a no. It ended up being something that didn't matter.
Yeah, I mean the Rebel interference, fine.
Yeah, but then that's the thing too. This was again another instance where the freaking ref is looking right at him, and they're like, "Nope, I don't see anything. Nope." I'm like, especially Rebel. Rebel was literally
he
on the top
threw her,
turnbuckle.
yeah, he threw her out of the ring or out of the ring side.
Yeah, finally. But then as he was doing that, and then Britt, when she was undoing the turnbuckle,
Yeah, he's looking right at the turnbuckle. He looked right at it.
Dude, you're looking right at her doing it. It's like, come on, man. And this was not a no DQ match or anything like that. I double checked. So,
Right.
but at the end of the day, it was a good match. And there were some really good near falls in it. The crowd was super behind it. And I think they did the right thing. They put it on the right person.
Yeah.
Although I think they need to start worrying about these belts changing hands too often. Because she's the 1, 2, 3, 4. She's the 5th women's world champion, I believe. Because there was Riho,
Britt twice.
Riho, Britt, Thunder Rosa.
Sheeta? Didn't Sheeta have it?
No, Riho, Sheeta, Britt, Thunder Rosa, Tony Storm.
Britt had it twice though, didn't she?
No.
Are you sure?
Tony Storm and now Jamie Hayter. That's the 6th. Was Tony just a boring champ character? The thing is, this was an example of Tony Khan having a plan. It was supposed to be Tony versus Thunder Rosa, and everything was built around that. When that went down, Tony Khan didn't do a very good job of course correcting from that.
Yeah, you said Nyla Rose, right?
Oh, Nyla Rose. Yeah, no, I made sure. That's
Riho, Nyla, Sheeta, Britt, Tony. Sorry, Thunder Rosa,
Tony, and now Jamie Hayter. She's the 7th. Right. Yeah. I forgot about Nyla Rose. Yeah, but I just think it was bad book. It's not that she was booked badly. She just wasn't booked very exciting. The people she was up against wasn't very exciting. But that match got a lot better towards the end. So it was a little bit, arguably the best match on the show. World Tag Team Championship, The Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory. This was a really good. The only thing I have with this is I wish that the turn had been a little more exciting than Keith Lee just walking up and just getting up and walking out. I would have preferred that if they had like a legit breakdown. Right. But this was a fun match. Was it the absolute best match that they could have had? Probably not, but it was one of the best matches on the show. And showcase Keith Lee, I think is at this point. I think he's back into full swing now. I think he dropped a little bit of weight. He's moving better now, and dude, I want to see this dude in something big. He's too good. Like Swerve is so good, man. I want to see Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. Oh my god, dude! Yeah, Swerve versus Will Ospreay. Just put him in some of these matches with these other guys that can really just move. You know, Swerve versus Sammy Guevara. That'd be a great match. That'd be an awesome match. But this was a fun match. Obviously, we knew that the Acclaim weren't going to be losing here.
No, yeah.
As for who's next for the Acclaimed,
probably the Ass Boys again.
I hope not. I'm that's done for me. I'd like to see them up against the Lucha Brothers, especially if the Lucha Brothers are going to be that. Which somebody said that might be why they had Ray cheat, is so that if it's the Lucha Brothers versus the Acclaimed, you could say that the Lucha Brothers are legit heels because they cheated to win their 6-man tag titles.
You know, people want to see FTR versus the Acclaim.
I want to see FTR, period. They're the best tag team in the freaking world, and you're not using them. Now, I get that right now, like they had to travel to Japan for one of the shows out there and AAA and all that stuff. That's fine, but they're under contract to AEW. They're the best tag team in the world. They're one of, if not the most popular acts in wrestling. Why are you not using them? I know that part of it is they don't want to overshadow the Acclaimed. So I get that. They don't have to be fighting for the tag thing. They just have them come and challenge the Bucks again. Okay? Have them challenge the Lucha Brothers. Have them challenge the House of Black. Something. You know? And Hicksman, I agree. I think Swerve is an awesome heel. And he's super talented, man. That guy can go.
Yeah, you could put the Acclaim versus Buddy Murphy and Brody King.
Brody King. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. I don't get it. But then the match it was a great match. AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley versus MJF. Ooh. I was still convinced that this was going to happen, and I turned out I was right. I could have seen them pushing it down the line, like you said. But I really I really thought that MJF they were going to pull the trigger on MJF, and it turns out they did. And he's just what is he? He's the fourth person to win a world title at the age of 26.
Yeah, and then you got Mox is supposed to be out for a couple of months for vacation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but right. He was originally supposed to go. They take like a month and a half, 2 months off. So I can see him doing that after this, and like coming back and just like wanting to murder everybody. But of course, like this was great. It was back and forth. MJF was milking that whole, "Hey, I'm a babyface now, guys." That whole thing, which I thought was, everybody knew that was bullshit. Everybody knew it was a work. Real quick, Hipsman said FTR will be promoting the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Problem is, Ring of Honor tag teams are kind of like lame currently. You got Taven and Maria's husband, or Brian Cage's friends. Yeah, I mean, outside of the Briscoes, the tag team scene in ROH is kind of weak. Yep. Which you would hope that they would shore that up. In coming months, you would hope they would shore that up. And we'll see.
The crowd was so into MJF, though. There still are.
Oh yeah, and it's like I said, he's the heel you love to cheer. And even though they were cheering him and he was acting like a babyface, everybody knew it was a ruse. But sometimes you get giving people what they want is the best way to do things. And Mox was working as like kind of a tweener, kind of a heel during this whole thing. The referee bumps, that was one of the things that kind of pulled me out of the match. One referee bump, okay, I get it, I see it. Like when as soon as Max grabbed him and pull and used the referee to defend himself, that right there was the turning point where he stopped trying to act like a babyface and was acting like a heel and started acting more like himself. I'm 100% behind that. One ref bump like that, that's great. The second ref bump was lame.
Yeah.
It looked stupid. I didn't like it. It's like, okay, repeating ref bumps is just, it's not smart. I fully expected Regal to eventually turn on them and go with MJF. I didn't think it was going to happen here. That was a little bit surprising to me. When Max pulled out the ring, I thought he was gonna either he was gonna go for it or he was gonna lose it, or Regal was gonna come down and yank it off of his hand or something like that. When he dropped it, at first I was like, "Oh, jeez, are they really gonna?" For a second, I really thought they were gonna push Max as a face. I was like, "This is a bad idea." But then
threw it out the ring and gave Regal the middle finger with that ring.
Yep. And I thought for sure that I was like, oh God, they're gonna make him face, which is terrible. But then Regal throws him the knucks. He pops Moxley, and it looks like the entire because after the match was over, the entire BCC came out to console Moxley.
Yep.
So it doesn't look like they're turning on him or anything. It's just Regal. So that means, I mean, the faction could survive, but are they going to call it something else? Because the reason they call it the Blackpool Combat Club is because Regal was, supposedly from Blackpool.
Right.
So what are they going to do going forward? Are they going to disintegrate? That's a possibility. I would rather not, but we'll see what happens.
Regal had that nice Regal smirk on his face after.
Look, I love Regal as a heel. I love the guy as a heel. He's awesome. He's one of the best heels of all time. I just didn't think that this was going to happen this quick.
Right.
But it was a great match. Wasn't the absolute best match that I've seen Moxley or MJF pull off, but it was a really, really good match. And again, a lot of these matches were not about putting on the absolute biggest, best banger you possibly can. It was about, we have storylines that we have to progress. So overall, I would give the entire show, I'd give it a B plus, like a B plus. Wasn't the greatest show, but it was a much more entertaining show than I think a lot of people give it credit for. And I'm excited to see where they go with MJF, man. And that friggin' that promo he cut at the scrum.
Oh yeah.
Oh my freaking God. Dude. Triple H, like I said, Triple H, I don't care what he says. I guarantee you he's watching this dude. And he's looking at the future and hoping to God at some point that he can sneak in there and maybe steal this guy away from AEW. Guaranteed. And I hear Cody's in his ear. I guarantee you. Claudia's BCC soccer shirt is in pre-order now. They better keep the name. I could see them keeping the name. I could see them keeping the name. But like I said, I hope that they do keep them together because, like I said, they're the best. In my personal opinion, they're the best faction in AEW right now. So, yeah. But
and tomorrow you got Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks for the World Title Eliminator.
One of those guys is going to be challenging MJF.
You got the best of 7 match number 2 between Death Triangle and Elite. You got Orange Cassidy versus Hager. You got Jericho versus Ishii.
That's going to be good.
And whatever's going on between Jade Cargill and Bow Wow Wow.
Oh my God. You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, that should have been my bad for the Downs. I don't care. I know why they're doing it. It's pushing that, outside of the wrestling community, that kind of thing. I get it. I just don't care. But that was
Full Gear.
That was Full Gear. Real quick, we only got a couple minutes.
Survivor Series
Wargames. Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles. I got AJ Styles in this one because I don't give a rat's ass about Judgment Day.
Right.
War Games. Team Bianca versus Team Damage Control. I think Team Damage Control wins. They need to do something to really rehab these guys.
It all depends on who number 5 is for Bianca because it could be either Lynch, Charlotte, or Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
And you'll find out Friday who that 5th member is.
Yep. Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens versus Bloodline.
I think it's Becky Lynch is going to be the number 5.
I do too. I think it's Becky Lynch. It might be Charlotte on the outside, and then on the very, very, very outside, it might be Sasha. But I think Sasha's done with wrestling.
Yeah, but I think the Bloodline wins.
Yeah, same. Although I do think that they advance the storyline between Owens and Sammy in the Bloodline, and we're going to start.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, buddy.
Yep. Take care, brother. I'm about to do that same thing tomorrow. But yep. So that's our predictions for Survivor Series. It's not much of a prediction.
What's the other match you said after the Bloodline?
No, that was it. It was there's only 5. They've only announced 5 matches.
Yeah, the 5-on-5, the 2 5-on-5s.
Yeah, Shotzi versus Ronda, which we said Ronda. AJ versus Balor, which we said AJ. Team Bianca, and the women's, and then the men's, and that's it. So it's 1, 2.
That's only 4.
3, 4. I thought someone said there was one more match. And
was it Seth Rollins wrestling?
Yeah, but they haven't solidified what it's going to be. They think it's going to be Rollins versus Bobby Lashley versus Austin
Right on.
Theory.
Oh, Theory. Okay.
And
Yeah. That's right.
I think that's what's going to be, but it hasn't been announced yet. And if that's it, I think Austin Theory wins. I think it's the new version of Austin Theory. But anyway,
yeah,
we'll. I think the Bloodline loses first chink in the armor for the Bloodline. That's possible. Hicks villain. And also it could be the beginning of the turn against Sammy. And because Sammy's going full babyface after this, man. 100% full on babyface. But I still think the Bloodline wins. I just think that they might, like I said, I think that the chinks in the armor start to become exposed. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And we'll see you guys back here next week. Bye.